What's up, everybody? How we doing today? Hope y'all are doing fantastic. I know we're doing pretty well on my end. I just hope all you folks are having a great time, right? Now let me see if I can get this going. Work on this a little bit. Get all my notes up. Welcome to the Reply Line, folks. I'm Trip Smith. If you haven't been to if you haven't watched the Reply Line yet, this is a show where I come on here live and I answer your questions and comments and stuff that I get through emails and messages and comments on YouTube videos. I'm so happy to be doing this with you folks. I think it provides a lot of value, and it's good practice for me, and it keeps my wheels spinning in my head and keeps me educated on the subject. So I have a few questions here that I'm going to go over with you folks and show you all some gear and stuff during that. And then after that, we're going to go to our live audience who is here in the chat standing by, who are going to be asking questions themselves, and we'll go in and we'll answer their questions. Let's go ahead and real quick say hey to a few folks in there. What's up, Kathy Don Johnson, Don Shrimper, John Deal, Chris Bentz, DJ Kaiser, Four Wheel Jeeper, and Brack Martin. What's up, y'all? Hey, I'm so glad that you guys are here, and everyone else who's watching the replay. If you missed this and you want to catch this live, you got to hit your bell notifications to be notified, and then select notify me for all notifications. So then the next time that I go live, or next time that I schedule this live stream, you'll be notified. You can say, hey, I need to be ready so I can join in on the live stuff here shortly. All right, so let's go into this first question. First question is from a gentleman, I'm guessing, named Shark Sheldon. Shark Sheldon, he's commenting on the video where I went up the Santa Fe River on my Ginu. He says, where do you go to the bathroom? That's a good question, I guess. Well, a lot of times, if I'm going number one, I will, it kind of depends. It depends on how many people are around, and it depends on what time of the day it is, and exactly where I'm at. So, sometimes, if I'm on the boat or something and I'm cruising and there's no one around, I may just, keep her in gear and just make it happen, just keeping the water outside of the boat, right? Sometimes, at night when I'm in my hammock, I usually will go number one pretty close by if I wake up, but I always, I pick a certain tree or a certain little briar patch or bush to do my business so that I know that I don't walk in that area, and the next day I stay clear of that area. But other than that, I will try to, if there is a restroom available, which a lot of times there's not in the places that I go, I just, I wing it. Now, if I go number two, that's a little different. I can't really do that while the boat's in gear or while I'm paddling down the river or whatnot. Oh yeah, on a paddleboard. How do I do it on a paddleboard? A lot of times I could just, you kind of do it without getting off the paddleboard if you're not around too many people. In the kayak, you kind of, I usually stop and get out of the kayak to go. Try to keep the water outside the kayak. That's a little more difficult. All right, but then for number two, if I'm on a kayak or a paddleboard, I'll certainly stop and get out, and I usually carry a little shovel or something with me. Or actually, no, I don't. That's a lie. I really don't carry a shovel with me. I will usually find a stick or something instead of carrying a shovel, and I will dig a little hole, and I will do my business, and, cover my hole back up. And then usually what I do is I will place two sticks in an X or some sort of rock over my spot just to prevent someone in the future from possibly digging in that area. So if you come across an X, it's not X marks the spot. There's treasure down there. It could be something else, a different kind of treasure that you don't want any part of. So there you go. That is a pretty good question. I thought we would answer that one first. Start this one off with a little bit of a smile. All right, next question is from Bridget Nicole. Bridget asks, she says, my husband is a huge fan of yours. That's awesome, Bridget. Thank y'all for watching. I'm looking for a good life vest that will be good for both boating and kayaking. He's more of a kayak adventurer. Do you have any recommendations? I've been looking into the O'Neill's reactor, but I'm not too familiar with this sort of stuff. Well, Bridget, there are a few different companies who make what I would call good PFDs for paddling, and also they double for boating. Mine, personally, I have this Soquist Trekker right here. I have used this PFD since I started my first kayaking video years ago. This is the same one that I wore. And, it's not a really cheap one. I think it was like $70 at the time. They're probably a little bit more than that now. But this thing has really held up well. It's super nice, very, very comfortable to wear. You know, zips here in the front, blah, blah, blah. I've got some big pockets, which I think is very important to have. So you should, and whenever you're looking at PFDs, be sure you find something with nice big pockets. You know, these have kind of pleats in them, so they really can get pretty large, you see. And you can tell that this one is aged a bit because it's faded and it's a little dirty. So I probably should, you know, I'm considering getting a new one in the future, but really there's no reason for me to be replacing this other than it just doesn't look brand new anymore. But I've spent a lot of hours in this joker, and I can paddle in this thing all day. So what is it that makes this PFD so comfortable? Well, it's how it's cut. You know, if you can see, there's not a lot going over your shoulders here. Well, you know what, let's just put it on. Why don't we just do that? All right, we'll slip her on. Oh yeah, if I can. And we will zip her up. Boom. You guys can see I have this thing fitting pretty snug because it has like a few adjustments. Of course, it has the adjustments over your shoulders, and it has two adjustments on each side, right, top and bottom. So you know, if you're like me, where my chest is wider than my waist, I can leave it loose up top and tighten it in the bottom, so it really it keeps it from coming up, right? You know, I'm pulling pretty hard on it, and it's not coming up. So if I fall in the water, this thing doesn't come up, you know, over my shoulders or whatnot, and I'm not, you know, like a turtle out there about to drown or something. So you can really get a lot of adjustability out of these PFDs. I mean, right now, even though it's snug, I'm so comfortable, I have a lot of range of motion. Something else, if you look on the back here, you can see that it's kind of, it's high backed, as in, you know, most of the flotation on the back is placed higher on the back versus, you know, the flotation doesn't go all the way down your back. Now, why is this? It's so whenever you're sitting in most of your kayaks, you know, that have seats or the low backs, you can lean back and the padding isn't affecting your comfort or how you sit in that seat. So you can still be comfortable while you're wearing your PFD. So what kind would I suggest? Well, I would say, you know, get on Amazon. I have a link below to that PFD and to another one of Stolquist PFDs, and also to their website. You can get on there and look at the different kinds. Now, they're all going to be cut, you know, about the same. They're all going to be that nice and comfortable with all the straps and stuff and with a high back. But the main differences are going to be, you know, I guess the colors and the design and the style and the pocket arrangement. So just pay attention to that. I say find what looks the best to you, what design you like, and what pockets look the best to you, whether that's snap pockets, zip pockets, whatnot, and pick out the PFD. They're all going to be pretty good, and I believe your husband will be happy with just about any good quality paddling PFD. All right, yeah, just be sure you get one that is for kayaking, right? All right, great question there, Bridget. Next question is from Andy Bennett. Andy asks, he says, what is the black dry bag that you have? Could not see it listed on my equipment list. Sorry if I didn't have it there. Sometimes I do fail. I'm only human. But here is my black dry bag. I love this dry bag. This is a lot of times it is one of the first dry bags I grab. You know, this one almost always comes with me. Actually, it does always come with me on my paddleboard. And why is that? Well, you know, it is kind of your general dry bag, but if you look at the top here, it has a little something special. This is actually a big zipper or like a Ziploc zipper, so you can snap this sucker closed, and it snaps pretty good. You can snap it closed all the way across, and it's completely dry. So what I will do is I'll, you know, stuff my gear in here, and I'll kind of just fold this down once it's zipped, and then I'll just, you know, fold this over 1 or 2 times. Then it has side buckles where you can buckle this joker. And essentially, you know, it's really easy to get in and out of. You don't have to compact things very much. And it has this nice pocket on the front, and then it has these side pockets as well, just little mesh pockets that are good to stuff, you know, things in like a t-shirt or a little camera or maybe a gear tie or a snack or something, a water bottle sometimes. And I'll put my t-shirt up under here, right? So it's good to have all these attachments, but I really like this one because, you know, I can put things in it that I know are not going to get wet. Because, you know, just with a traditional dry bag, you know, most of the, if you're don't have a really expensive one, you know, even if you roll those suckers down and really seal it correctly, you still have a chance of getting a little bit of water in there. But when you have this Ziploc zipper on the top here, you don't have the chance of getting that water in. And it's just real nice to have, especially on the paddleboard. A lot of times I might be digging in a dry bag, without stopping. I can just do it really quickly. I don't have to, unroll the dry bag and roll it back and be sure it's sealed correctly, or really tight and stuff for it to be waterproof. I can just zip this back and really just leave it laying on my deck of my paddleboard, and I'm good to go. I don't have to worry about leaks and stuff like that, and worry about all the stuff getting wet in there. It's really nice. So that's an OutXE dry bag. That's OUTXE. There's a link to that below as well. You want to check that out on Amazon. Really love that dry bag. I think everyone should have one. That was actually suggested to me by a buddy of mine, Andre Mizzou. He came on 2 subscriber trips, I think. Really cool guy. And he had that one day. He was like, Trip, you got to look at this dry bag. And I did. And it was cool. Went and got one. Now I love it. So thanks for that, Andre. All right. Next question is from Luke Scribner. Luke asks, he says, hey, Trip, I was looking into making a hammock tarp. Oh, and wanted to know what kind of material you use. You know what? I meant to grab my fabric. It's right over here, but that's okay. All right, because I do have an example, another one for you. All right, well, for my tarp, I used 1.1 ounce ripstop nylon. And so what is that? It's basically just, a really fine, a really lightweight nylon, fairly inexpensive compared to some other fancy fabrics, and it's completely waterproof, right? It's not breathable, which you don't really need it breathable on a tarp. You just need it to be waterproof. And so where did I get that? Well, I went over to here to Ripstop by the Roll. You can go by fabric type and look at your nylon, and you have all your camouflages, or you can go by use. Here's hammock fabric, tarps and shelters, and all kind of different stuff. Let's go to tarps and shelters, because that is what he is inquiring about. And this website is slow for some reason. It was a minute ago. But they have a lot of different stuff here, a lot of really cool camos. Come on, Ripstop by the Roll. All right, so 1.1 ounce seal nylon. Here it is. This is what I got. Let's open it in a new tab, because we may want to come back to that. Matter of fact, let's do something. We're going to open this for fun. All right, so seal nylon, you can see it comes in a lot of different colors generally. It appears that they are sold out, but I think this is the color that I used for my tarp, just a dark olive. You're looking at $6.75 a yard. How many yards do you need? I think like 10 or 11, something for my size. So you can just get this stuff, and it comes folded up nicely, and you can really make a good tarp out of it. All right, then they also have these cool camouflage fabrics, which I would like to make something out of. Scroll down here, you can see this is the fabric that I made my hammock out of, and I would love to make one out of this Relv camo. That is so cool to me. Also, that hex cam is pretty awesome. But if we look here, they also, as you can see, they sell these camos in Sil Poly, which is basically Sil nylon. It's poly or silicone impregnated nylon. And then here is the fabric I made my hammock out of, 1.1 ounce poly ripstop. So pretty cool stuff. They have a lot of different options here for you guys to choose from. If you do choose to make your own gear, which I do encourage, you can save a lot of money, you learn a lot, and you can make some, even with not much experience, you can make some DIY gear. Like my tarp that I use is the same one that I made years ago. My hammock, yeah, I'm on my second hammock because I ripped one time when I was up on top of Stone Mountain in a big windstorm. I ripped it. Thank goodness it was right in the morning when I was getting out of my hammock, but I ripped it, and so I had to make another one. Well, I made an identical hammock with the same stuff because I loved it so much, and I had been using them both for so long. But now I do have a new hammock to use the next time that I go out hammocking. I've got the new Ninox from Sierra Madre. I'm gonna be trying that thing out. I don't know, exactly how much I'll use it, because I do love my own DIY stuff because it's so much more minimal, so compact and lightweight than the other stuff. So there's the material that I use, just 1.1 ounce Sil nylon or Sil poly, whatever, some people call it different things, but that is what you need to use. And you also need a pretty good thread. What did you use? The Gutterman, I think it is called, or Gutermann thread. If you just look on some DIY or how to forums. A lot of people are suggesting that stuff. Like if you go to hammockforums.net and you look at their DIY guides, a lot of them, they will suggest that same thread, that Gutterman or Guterman. I'm not really sure how to pronounce it and what weight it is, but you will see it in the DIY instructional that you find if you go to hammockforums.net. All right, those are the 4 questions that we chose so far. So now I'm going to take a break from those, and we're going to go to our live audience and see what is going on in here. Oh, I see some familiar faces or some familiar names in here. Let's see here. I am reading through. Hey, if you guys are asking questions, if you wouldn't mind, you know how we do it. We start our chat or our question with a question mark and then ask your question so I know whenever I go through here. Let's see. DJ Kaiser, he said, we have a handicap beside toilet for Rockadoc. Is that answering someone's question? He's got a handicapped toilet? All right, well, that's fantastic. Four-wheel Jeepers at the firehouse. What's up, man? Hope you are being safe today. Let's see here. Oh, Kayak Adventures, you are welcome for using your question about PFDs. River Kings is here. What's up, Pete? I need to name the boat Trip Dip. That's not a bad idea for a name, actually. DBF, I'm glad you love the channel. I appreciate that. All right, let's see here. All right, Jennifer Preble. She has a question. Deer flies, question mark, ticks. We had 2 thermocells in 2 types of sprays, and we were still swarmed. Any tips? Yes, I do have some tips, and something that you don't have in that. Now, granted, the stuff you have should be pretty good, but if you're really having trouble with bugs, you need to look up permethrin. You can soak your equipment, your hammock, your tarp, whatever, or your clothes in this permethrin. It's basically a poison for bugs. It supposedly doesn't harm humans, but you soak your clothing or your equipment in it, hang it up, let it dry. When it dries, this scent is kind of on it, but really I think it's more or less the chemicals or something that's just left on there. And whenever bugs land on it, if they do land on it, they supposedly die, but they really don't like it. And I have used that stuff in the past, and it works fantastic, Jennifer. But really something that right now all I use, I haven't used permethrin in a few years. All I use now is this Murphy's stuff. I love this stuff. I mean, it works pretty good, and it's really all natural. It keeps my skin nice and fresh, and I even put it on my lips if I forget chapstick, which I kind of don't bring chapstick anymore since I have this, because it's mainly, I think it's like coconut oil. No, it's castor oil, but whatever, and lemongrass oil, and rosemary oil, cedarwood oil, peppermint oil, and olive oil, and beeswax. Oh yeah, those are the main ingredients, is olive oil and beeswax. So pretty cool stuff, and it smells good. But if you're really having trouble with bugs, you need to get yourself some permethrin or a good bug net, because a lot of times you guys, I know you guys have seen my videos where I'll be out there and just it's dark and the bugs are just swarming me. A lot of times that does suck, and I don't bring a thermocell. I have one or I have 2, but I've never ever used them because I don't want to use the fuel, don't want to use the batteries, nonsense. I'm just a weirdo. But I would a lot of times I just get in my hammock because I'm not hanging out late at night most of the time if I'm by myself. Other than playing my guitar sometimes, but I'll just get in the hammock and go to bed and get up the next day, so I can get up at the crack of dawn like I do sometimes. Sometimes I'll sleep in. All right, good question though. DBF Outdoors says, any plans for trips in South Florida? I don't have any plans for trips in South Florida, but there are so many trips in South Florida that I want to do. I'm not going to Outdoor Retailer this year. It got canceled, and I have a pretty big block of time that's blocked off for that. And I'm not going to be taking advantage of it, so I might have to do something down to South Florida. It would be cool if I could just go to the Florida Keys. If I do go down there, that's my main target, but I really am not sure where I would want to go there, either there or maybe somewhere around the Tampa area, or maybe even over on the East Coast too, like down in like South Florida. That would be so awesome. But I don't have any current plans right now. Let's see here. Kayak Adventures says, don't most sites have a wooden toilet? Yeah, I guess all sites have a wooden toilet. Generally, there's a tree that's leaning over, fell down somewhere you can use as a wooden toilet. Absolutely. What's up, Sue Ann, Keith Johnson, King Rex? All right, another question is from Four-Wheel Jeeper. For the brand new firefighter kayaker, what would you say is priority? What would you say in priority is the main things to get? Top 4 or so priority that you would say? Well, all right, if you got a kayak, this is kind of an interesting question. It's hard to answer, because I'm going to point out the obvious, because the main things you need to get is a paddle, a PFD, things to be legal, and the things to get out there. And I guess what else would be, I don't know, other than that, a radio, a Bluetooth speaker. That's what you need. Those things, and you're going to have a good time. So I don't know, but other than that, maybe a little first aid kit. I usually carry my first aid kit, but I next to never use it. But that would be something. But if you want a little something more specific, re-ask that question, Four Wheel. All right, let's see. Jeff's Outdoors Adventures. He says, what paddle is best for a Pelican 10-foot Mustang? Whew. Well, really, I wouldn't say there's a paddle that is specifically best for that kayak. Generally, what I tell people when they ask a paddle question, I say, if you spend $80 on a paddle, you're going to get a pretty good paddle, a lot better than your $30 or $35 paddle. It's going to be you're going to really up your game. You're going to really notice a difference in that paddle. So if you just go wherever you shop, whether that be online or at Academy or at Gander Outdoors or somewhere, if you go there and just find a mid-grade paddle, you're really going to notice a difference and like it, and that's what I would suggest, just starting with that. Don't get anything super expensive unless you just have the budget. But being as you're in a 10-foot Pelican, you're probably budget minded, kind of like a lot of us are. So I think a $60 or to $80 paddle will suit you fine, and you will be pretty happy with it. What's up, Leanna? How are you doing, sweetheart? Good to see you. Let's see, Bojangles, River Kings. Let's see here. Looking for the next question. Here we go. Oh, go! I just missed some. Hope I didn't. All right, let's see here. Yeah, I did miss a few. Here we go. All right, permethrin works great, Leanna said. All right, here, Mike Tavner Media. He says, Trip, what is your opinion? What is your opinion on keeping hand bilge pumps on sit-on kayaks? Sit-on top kayaks? I don't think you need a hand bilge pump on a sit-on top kayak, right? Because most sit-on top kayaks are self-bailing, essentially, as long as you don't have them loaded down too much. And if you do have them loaded down too much, once you bail it out, it's going to come right back in, right? So you're kind of fighting a losing battle. So, no, if I was on a sit-on top kayak, only thing that I would be really concerned with is water getting inside of the boat, inside of the kayak. And typically, instead of bringing a bilge pump, I just bring a big sponge it out. You can dump it out. The little stuff you can sponge out. That is what I would do, because I try to keep my gear as compact as possible, to an extent. There's just some stuff that I don't think are necessary, and for me, for a sit-on-top kayak, nah, I don't need that. All right, let's see here. B-Dub17 says, hey, man, you have helped me tremendously on paddleboards to pick. Awesome. iRocker for the wife and a black fin for me. I hear you, brother. How far would you travel to camp on open ocean water behind barrier islands? How far would I travel? I guess as far as needed, brother. Depends on how far that is. Now, on a paddleboard, I would say, or really on any craft, I don't know if you're crossing like open water. Like when I went down to Dog Island, I think I had like a 2.5 or 3 mile paddle across open water, as in straight across this huge bay I paddled across. And fortunately, it was calm both days that I was doing it. There was not much wind, so it was pretty flat. I was able to get right out there. I was really lucky to have that. But that's what I would consider. You have to consider your weather. If your weather is nice, you can make some big crossings. But if I was going to make that longer crossing over open water and there was much wind, especially if it was not in my favor, it would make it difficult. Especially, if it's you and your wife. I don't know how, what both of your abilities are, but have to take that into consideration. And what I would suggest is start small. Don't go for those big, huge barrier islands like way out there, or have a plan B. But that's kind of a tough question for me to answer without you saying, okay, Trip, we're going right here. Look at this map. What do you think about this? And then what I would say to you, I would say, okay, well, if the wind is coming from this direction, it's probably not going to be a good time going there. And if it's coming, from the other direction, going back, it's not going to be a good time. So you just really have to consider the wind pretty much. And of course the distance, you don't want to go farther than you really want to paddle. And you probably wouldn't want to go farther than you've paddled before, especially with camping gear, because you don't know, just how much you enjoy paddling that far, right? All right, so next question is from River Kings. He says, aside from the obvious Rockadock answer, what are you looking forward to this year? What are you looking forward to most this year for the channel? Probably this next trip that I'm about to do, Pete. I'm about to take the little skiff down to Panama City in like 2 days. I'm so excited about this trip, and I'm going to do the big loop out into the Gulf, 50 miles, and then back through bays and stuff, the ICW, from Panama City to Destin and back. I'm so excited and stoked about that trip. I'm able to turn it into a 2-night trip, so it's really going to make things good when I can have one great first night at Shell Island, and the next night or the next day I'll be at Crab Island, and then in Destin. I always have fun there. Then I'll be cruising back on the last day. It's just going to be a superb time. So really, that's what I'm looking forward to the most, because really and truly I don't have anything else planned. I do have sections or time slots in my calendar that say, hey, here I have a time to go on a trip, but I don't know where I'm going to go. So I guess I'm just always enjoying or looking forward to the next one. Now, of course, other than that, I would have absolutely been looking forward to going to Outdoor Retailer. I was so stoked about going to do that, but this nonsense virus canceled that. So really, I don't have a great answer for you, Pete, but this next trip is something I really want to do because, it's kind of exciting to go out and make a 50-mile run in the Gulf of Mexico in this little bitty boat. It's going to be fun. I'm just really looking forward to that, Pete. I wish you could do it with me, man. All right, let's see. 4-Wheel Jeeper says, would you say people overpack or underpack? And what is your campsite wear? I would say people definitely overpack that I have seen. For sure, people overpack. I don't really recall many people underpacking. If you underpack, it's typically might be food or water, or you didn't bring enough insulation, but really, or either you just didn't manage your gear while you were underway, right? You got something wet, and so you didn't have an extra pair of shoes that maybe you should have packed. Well, no, I think the maybe you just shouldn't have got your shoes wet or your gear wet in the first place. Because I've been camping with people and paddling with people who, have their gear in like Walmart bags or something, their tennis shoes, and tied in a Walmart bag, thinking it's going to stay dry that day, and then they get soaked, and they have cold, wet feet at camp. So really and truly, I really don't think people overpack. I don't think people underpack. They mainly just don't pack their gear correctly, or they overpack, and overpacking is, a lot of people are guilty of that. Sometimes I am. I really used to be, because I used to bring, a hatchet and a big saw and what else did I bring? All kinds of other silly stuff that I do not bring anymore, because I just don't need that stuff. I guess, maybe I was watching or, kind of thinking from all the bushcrafters that I needed a hatchet. But I didn't really watch so much bushcraft. I kind of think it's silly. Well, no, I don't think it's silly. I kind of think it's not practical if you want to go lightweight and all. But anyways, I think people overpack. Man, I kind of ramble, don't I? Right? Well, I hope I share some good stuff when I'm rambling, though. All right, next question. B-Dub. Hey, thank you for the super chat. 99-cent super chat. You are a gentleman. Thank you so much for helping support the channel. It's so awesome when people decide to do things like that. And you guys may think, 99 cents, that's not anything. Just imagine if 10% of my audience did 99 cents. Man, that would be huge. And, that would do so much for the channel. But, hey, I'm grateful for you, B-Dub. You are a gentleman. All right, next question. Oh, I just scrolled too much. Here we go. It's from Rock Premier. I guess that's how you spell it, or Roach Premier. Have you found any nylon shirts that have a tight enough weave that they don't require permethrin? That's an interesting question. And no, I haven't. And I've even purchased, or no, I didn't. I even was gifted by the company some nylon clothing, shirts and pants. What was it? Rhino skin that supposedly, or I believe, was constructed, with the intentions of it being a tight weave, so bugs couldn't bite through it. But bugs could still bite through it. So no, I haven't figured that out. But basically, what I do for bug protection is loose-fitting clothing. Right. Granted, it'd be nice if I had a little tighter fitting clothing, because it would kind of keep me cooler when it's hot out. But I just do the loose-fitting clothing and go with it. And sometimes I'm a little warm, but whatever. You can always take a trip dip, right? All right. Let's see here. Poochie Mueller says, do you always need a map, or can you freestyle down a river? You do not always need a map. I usually carry a map when I'm on a river, mostly just out of kind of curiosity or just interest, because I want to say, okay, this is the next bridge, and I will kind of use the map to kind of test myself and say, okay, I took in 2 rights and a really hard left. I think I'm here on the river, because I'm not using a GPS at the time. Most, or next to any. And I'll use it sometimes to find like a campsite. Like I'll have my map and it'll be a satellite image, and I'll be sure if I'm stealth camping that okay, there's no houses right in that area where I'm going to be camping on the bank or anywhere close that won't hear me acting a fool or playing my music or something. So that's kind of why I use my map, but really, or I'll use it for the mileages. But no, you really don't need a river or a map when you're on a river because you're just going downstream. As long as you don't miss your stopping point, you don't really need it, especially if you're familiar with that area. So no, you don't always need a map, but it is nice to have. And then if you do get in trouble, you having that map and knowing your general location, you can, if you need to tell somebody where you're at, the map can help, right? All right, Wayne Cousins, what's up, Wayne? He says, Trip, can you post a video of all your mistakes? Ideally where you've fallen off your board or other funny things you've messed up on. Just give us all a good laugh during these stressful times. I guess I could do that, Wayne, but really and truly, I include all of my mistakes in my videos. I think that's one of the things that makes my videos enjoyable, because I don't cut out the times when I make mistakes. I actually treasure those times when I make mistakes, and I leave them in the video intentionally to make it seem good and pure and sometimes entertaining for you guys. And yeah, I guess I could go back through a bunch of mine and pull out that stuff, but man, that would take me forever. But of course I do have a bunch in my head. I think I do have one video. I think I do have one video that's like 3 years old. That is that, as a matter of fact, Wayne. If you go back, just kind of scroll through, I think you'll find it. It's like that crazy kayak camping guy or something. I think that's the name of it. All right. Nicholas Durr says, "What's the worst rapids you have been on yourself?" They haven't been too bad, Nicholas. And the worst ones I've been on, that was when I went down the Coosa River and I was on my Kaku Kahuna. Did I do that on an inflatable too? I think I did. No, did I? Was it on the inflatable? I don't remember if I did that on the inflatable. I've been down it, 3 or 4 times, and it wasn't a bad rapid. I think at the time when I went through it, might have been like a class 2, and and I did it multiple times in this worst rapid, but it wasn't that extreme. But I have seen videos of people going down some super stuff on paddleboard, and man, I'd love to do that. Man, I would just my heart would be pumping out of my chest, and I would just be screaming like a little girl, having a good time. But I would love to do that. That would be fun. But no, I don't really have any awesome ones that I've been on. Whatever. Let's see here. Full Wheel Jeeper says, looking for the not given items, looking for the really important camping items, not the fluff, but the good comfort items to make an enjoyable camp. Okay, so he's asking about the 4 items that I would suggest. So now we're saying to make things comfortable, not the obvious things. Well, a Bluetooth speaker, I'd bring that, and maybe some sort of a little healthy snack, little treat. Like I like to bring some dark chocolate cacao, that's like 80% dark chocolate or 80% cacao and a little bit of sweet, not much. Just nibble on that a little bit, or I don't know, or my guitar. Music and food is a good way to make me happy. So if I cover those bases, I'm doing pretty good. I don't really have anything else other than that. That's probably going to be it. If you want to make me happy, bring me some good food and play some good music, and we will have a time, I promise. All right, so there you go. PJ Handy says, top 3 packet gourmet meals. Okay, I was just looking at these the other day. Someone asked me, I was talking with someone about it, messaging them. Let's see, what is it? The Kickin' Chicken Hot Wings wrap, the Mesquite chicken, and there's another chicken one. And basically these are their lunches, and I love these because there's not a lot of grains in them. Actually, I don't think there's any grains in it, which I'm a big fan of. And all of these, you don't have to boil water to cook them. You just pour in some cool water, let it sit, mix in your whatever condiments. I think one of them has avocado in it. One has, all kind of really good stuff, carrots or something. Like really, really awesome, very tasty stuff. I love that because it's simple and it's delicious and it's healthy. Boom, that is a win in my book. But probably my favorite, not a meal, but their desserts. That Mom's homemade banana pudding and the strawberry cheesecake. Guys, ladies and gals and guys, that will knock your socks off. I don't care who you are. That is so good. All right. Pia Ann says, hey Trip, what is your favorite waterproof speaker? Oh, it's actually, I don't have it here. Where's my favorite waterproof speaker is one that was given to me. Who gave me that? Cruz. I think someone with the last name of Cruz. Years ago, someone sent me my Altec Lansing Life Jacket 2, I believe it is, Bluetooth speaker. It floats. It gets pretty loud. It's fantastic. I like it. I have another one from OutXE that they sent me. I took it out to my shop like 2 days ago to jam. And it works. It doesn't get quite as loud, doesn't sound as good, and it doesn't float. So the Altec Lansing one is really great. I like it. I've used it a pretty good bit. But I do have my eye on another one, the JBL Boombox, but it's like $300. Right now it's like $400, but like a month ago it was $300. I don't know why it went up, but my eye is on that one because it's huge and it gets loud as junk, and I can hear it over my motor on the boat. Because if you guys remember when I was going down the Choctawhatchee River, I had the GNU wound out and I had to hold the speaker right to my ear, and it was on full blast for me to hear it because I love jamming, and I was going like 96 miles that first day, so I needed I needed some tunes. But basically any Bluetooth speaker that gets loud, but that Altec Lansing is nice. And if you find one that floats, even better when you're on the water, because I have dropped mine and I was glad it floated. All right, great question, Pia. All right, DBF Outdoor says the Everglades National Park has an area called Flamingo. Yes, I'm aware of Flamingo. Lots of islands to camp on. So, all right, Everglades National Park, is that around the 10,000 islands? I've had a lot of people tell me, Trip, you should go to the 10,000 islands. You should go there. Then, I look at all the photos and videos and stuff. I'm like, wow, there's a lot of places to camp, but the water's not nice and clear. If I go a little bit further, I can get more islands, much clearer water, beautiful sand flats, maybe even some coral reef at the Florida Keys. So maybe that's where I'm going to go, right? I want that Caribbean, feel. I want to be, kicked back on my own island in paradise, like I'm in the Bahamas or something. That is my dream. If I could live my life like that, boy, I would do it. But hey, I'm happy with the hand I'm dealt, so that's okay. All right, let's see here. Wow, we have a lot today. Man, I love all these folks in here. Thank y'all so much. I hope I don't miss someone's question. Wow, Gypsy says just bought her second red paddle board, or 2 red paddle boards after watching the videos. Congrats on those boards. Nice boards. All right, Off-Grid Adventure says, what's up, Trip? How's it going? What do you think is the best section of the Swanee River to do? Okay, I know that. We kayaked and camped on the Swanee twice and would like to do a different section of it. All right, I think the uppermost section, if you're going to be paddling it, is the most fun because it's narrower. There's it's a little more interesting, so to speak, when the river is narrower and you have a little more action, or maybe some shoals every once in a while. So the higher you can get on the river, I think it's going to be better, because once you get down lower, I've been on the lower section when I was on the GNU, and it really gets big, really big. It starts moving slow. It's not as interesting, looking to paddle down. So I would suggest the upper part of the river, which is probably the section you've paddled before. But if you can get yourself a little skiff or something, you can go wherever you want and see all the good stuff. But all right, paddle the Santa Fe River. Try the Santa Fe River. It is fantastic. It's beautiful. I love that one, and that would be a good one for paddling because it's narrower and it's windy. There's some shoals. There's a lot of springs. So that will be a good one for you. All right. Let's see here. B. Williams said, "Are fish wetter underwater?" No, I don't think so. Let's see here. Oh, all right. Good luck on the call, 4-wheel jeeper. All right, Brack Martin says, I'm excited for Rockadoc. Me too, buddy. And was wondering what would be best. I have kayaks, paddleboards, and canoe. I mean, if you got to ask me that question, paddleboards are going to be the best. But really, it depends on what paddleboards you have. The rivers there are kind of rocky-ish. Granted, you can go to a lot of the springs and kind of avoid the rocks. So basically what I'm saying is if you have like boats, like BOTE, like the very nice fancy ones, I don't feel comfortable going down the rivers in those because I'm a little rough, I guess. If you have inflatables, I think that is the way to go, inflatable paddleboards. But really, whatever you want. But there were people in all kinds of craft last year, whether that be a canoe, kayaks, or paddleboards. So you're going to be happy with whatever you choose. It doesn't really make that much of a difference. I wish I had a good answer for you, but you can have fun in whatever. All right, let's see here. All right. B-Dub says probably whatever is the easiest to pack up with and travel with. You'll see him on a board. That is an interesting thing, and something that I think about, and is why I use an inflatable paddleboard, because it's so easy to pick up and haul and pack. And something else to think about, good point, B-Dub, is, all right, so whenever we're at Rockadock, we do have Dale from Southern Paddling Guide is there helping shuttle everyone, which is nice, but a lot of times Dale fills up, and he's at his max capacity, and so we have to shuttle ourselves to and from the headwaters and stuff. Well, I don't know how many people are in your group, but if you're by yourself or just a couple of you, it would be easy if you just had inflatable paddle boards, and because you could just walk up to almost anybody and say, hey, where y'all going paddling today? And you'd be like, hey, can we go with y'all? Can we hitch a ride? And they'd be like, I don't know if we can fit. You'd be like, dude, we got inflatable paddle boards. They're aired up. I'll toss them on top. They weigh nothing, and we'll just hop in and ride with y'all. And they'd be like, okay. So there is a tip right there. If you want easy to go paddling and hitch a ride, an inflatable paddleboard. That's pretty smart. All right, let's see here. B. Williams says, worst lightning storm in a hammock. I haven't been in many lightning storms while I was in the hammock. I have been through some bad ones. I don't think I've been through any while I was in the hammock. Not that were like right on top of me. But the worst lightning storms I've been in was in Orange Beach, the one where the lightning struck and I literally smelled smoke when I was laying in the grass. Or the one where I was on the Choctawhatchee. If you guys remember, I had the Ginu in the water. It was filling up with water in the rain, and I was like, huddled up just like this, sitting on my PFD, waiting on lightning. It was striking all around me in the rain, trying not to get struck. I was trying to insulate myself from the ground. That was a bad one. And then, there's probably others, but one time I was in a canoe going down the Choctawhatchee River when I was a lot younger. I couldn't even drive probably, and we had a lightning storm come right up on us and popping the trees all around us. We were just cruising down the river in aluminum canoes. That was great. All right, let's see here. Oh man, I keep scrolling down too much. Let's see here. Luke Stedman, what's my opinion on black people? Hey, I love black people. I have some really good friends who are black. I have some really good friends who are Mexican. I'm talking like straight up Mexican. And I mean, I have no no racism really. But I believe there are people of all races who are worthless. That goes for white, yellow, black, white, whatever, anything. So I don't know. That's what I think. I don't have a problem with black folks. All right. Don't forget to hit the like button. Yeah, thanks, Bob. All right. Let's see here. Wayne Cousins says, how do you store your boards? Do you leave them inflated? Well, right now in my shop, I have my red paddle coat board and my black fin inflated, just because I haven't deflated them from the last time I used them. And so typically during the summer, I will leave 1 or 2 inflated all summer because it's easy and I have the space. But like 6 weeks ago, I had all my boards in bags, sitting up on a shelf in my shop. It's easy to store them that way. So, you can store them whatever is most convenient for you. I just did it that way to keep them clean throughout the winter because I wasn't really paddleboarding much during the winter. Just whatever. I think I even have one in the house in a closet. That's the great thing about inflatable paddleboards. All right, Todd Richards says, have you thought of using the skiff as a paddleboard launch? Combine the two. Yes, Todd, I have thought of that. But it's a 14.5-foot skiff, not a lot of room to store stuff, and I have thought about it, but I can almost go everywhere on that skiff. I can go on a paddleboard. But now Red Paddle Co. does have this really, really cool inflatable board that it's kind of small, but it really packs up into like a cube, and it's super awesome. I would like to try that one. That one would be worth bringing because it doesn't take up much real estate on the boat. But other than that, I haven't really desired to do that. I mean, it could work, but I don't know. Just haven't done it. All right, next question is from Four Wheel Jeeper. He said, trip canceled on the alarm. Okay, all right. The guys at the station want to know, do you have a leather helmet? No, I don't have a leather helmet. And when you're doing the next fire department overnight trip, they want to see a multi-day if you can. Plus, if you can do something. All right, do a checklist for us to hang at the firehouse for overnight trips. All right, I do have a checklist. I think it's on the website. If not, Four Wheel Jeeper, shoot me an email or a message or something. I will shoot you that checklist, and you guys can put it up at the station and whatever. And no, I don't have a leather helmet. I want the lightest helmet possible, and I think the leathers are heavier than our standard helmets. But they do have some of those, like the really lightweight kind of smaller helmets. I wish I had one of those. They don't look the coolest, but I'm thinking about, I want to be mobile in a fire, and I want to reduce injury to my neck from long-term wear of the helmet. So to be as lightweight as possible is my motto, right? I want to be nimble. I want to get in and get out. I want to be a bad mamma jam when I'm in the fire. All right. I know that may sound weird, but that's how I think. All right. Rock Premier says, could you request to have one of the companies that produce graphene clothing to sponsor one of your videos? What is graphene clothing? Expensive, but breathes mosquito free, and would like to find out how well it works. Okay, I'm gonna have to write that down. I'm writing that right now. Graphene clothing. All right, I'll be looking that up. Interesting. Yeah, sure. I will see if I can contact one of them and test that stuff out. All right, let's see here. Four-wheel Jeeper says, also, do you modify all your kayaks and boards? No, I don't modify all of them. And if I do, I'm usually modifying it either to store more gear, like on my leader accessories inflatable board. I did put some straps, some webbing on the back so that I could attach more gear because it doesn't have bungees on the back. And then, like on my Kaku Kahuna, I did take a piece of T-track and I screwed it to the bow of the boat so I'd have a place to mount a camera. And like on my skiff, of course I modified it, but I'm making some modifications to mount cameras. My red paddle coil, I don't have to do that because it has the action mounts and stuff. So no, I don't really make a lot of mods on them. No, I don't. I just, hey, if it gets me on the water and it's tough, I roll with it. All right, I can make it work, I guess. All right, let's see here. Punchy Mueller says, how long does it take to do the whole Peace River? I think you can do the whole river in like five days. I think you can do the whole river in 5 days if you're making like 15-mile days, I think it was. Now, it's been years since I did that trip, and I didn't plan it. I didn't do the logistics to it, but I know that we ended close to the end. If we would have went one more day, we would have pretty much finished the whole river. So there you go. I think, and it was a 4-day trip. So there you go. I don't know. I can't really answer that question very well, to be honest with you. All right, so Leanna said, thinking seriously on the paddleboard. Just don't want to spend too much because I'm not sure it's for me. Looks like it's so easy. Easy to carry and easy to pack for trips. Yes, Leanna, it is so easy. I mean, you saw my mom do it. If she can do it, it's got to be easy, right? And she treated it just like a kayak and sat on it. But, it's easy. Yes, it's easy to carry. It's easy to pack for trips. But once you're on the water, it's so much easier to paddle. You will be shocked how much more efficiently it moves through the water because there's less drag when you're on an inflatable paddleboard. Because, they just have, they're totally flat bottom, so they have a wide surface area to sit on the water, so it keeps them higher out of the water, so they're hold it in the water, creating drag, having to push through the water. It slides so great through the water. It has the fin on it, which makes it track straight as an arrow. You just need to, if you're undecided, you try mine at Rocket Dock. Try it. You take it out and go buy one the next week. All right. All right, folks. We've got a lot of questions. I so enjoyed it. Thank y'all for being here. I had a lot of questions today. How fun was that? And I appreciate you folks asking questions because, it challenges me. It makes me better at answering questions, makes me better at talking in my videos, and it makes me educated on all this stuff because I'm having to research a lot of these questions, or sometimes I will research to double check things, or I'm learning about new gear. So thank y'all for the questions, and I look forward to the next reply line. Probably going to do one tomorrow, and that will be the last one until maybe Sunday or either Tuesday, because I will be heading out on Thursday morning to go down to Panama City Beach to do my trip. So I'm really looking forward to that. Totally looking forward. But if you guys have your notifications on, you'll probably will see me going live because I know I have service throughout the duration of that trip everywhere I will be. So maybe see some live streaming on the cell phone. No telling what you might see. You know how it is when I get out there. All right, folks. Yep, I'll stay safe. Four-wheel. Leanna, see y'all. Yes. Oh, Julius, yes, the iRocker Nautical does not have the US fin box. Actually, none of the iRockers or Blackfins have the US fin box anymore. And I sent an email to the owner of iRocker and Blackfin this morning, seeing if we can get on a phone call, because I've chatted with him a few times, and I have a few questions I want to ask him, and that is one of the questions. All right. So I'm really looking forward to that conversation, so I can answer a lot of these questions. All right, yep, definitely catch up on Instagram. You guys, take care of yourselves. God bless. And yes, I can't wait for more videos and Rockadoc either, Bob. I'm ready for it to be here. I'm ready for my main trash man to get there. That's you, Bob. But hey, well, I don't know. The Aikens did pretty good last year too, but everyone is just awesome at Rockadoc. I'm totally looking forward to seeing all my friends again. All right, y'all, and all the new ones. All right, folks, take care of yourselves. God bless, and I will see y'all maybe tomorrow, all right? Now, let me stop this thing. There's always a lull when I'm trying to stop it. All right, folks, take care. God bless. Get out there. I've got to go work on the skiff and get her ready to ride.